Hi, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. I watch so many YouTube tutorials on makeup. I love makeup. I spend hours doing my makeup each day. I've seen some cool toned fall looks, but a lot of them are pretty old, so they're not using kind of some current products. To me, some of them feel kind of warm. I'm a cool tone bitch. That's just me. I am so excited that cool toned everything is kind of coming back into fashion, because that's where this girl is. Cool toned all the way. So I'm just gonna kind of jump right into it. You saw the pictures in the beginning of this that kind of depicts what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna be doing a day fall look. And then we can easily turn it into a glam look with just an extra couple of steps. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am someone that you can see struggles with acne quite a bit. Honestly, this is a million times better than what it was a couple months ago. I'm trying something new. I am working on a video for that. I'm very excited that it is getting a lot better, but we still wanna take precautions for it. Make sure your hands are clean before you basically put anything. I'm just gonna put a little sample of Clinique Dramatic Different Hydrating Jelly. As long as it's a lightweight moisturizer, it works really well for me, but I think prepping your face is extremely crucial. Again, make sure your hands are nice and clean. And I'm not a beauty guru. I don't have a million of those beauty lights. I don't really particularly care for them anyways, because I think you just see a really blurred effect of what they just did, and you don't actually see what it would look like in real life. Let's put that on, get it kind of nice. My skin is nice and tacky, but I also get moisturized. We're gonna let that settle in for just a moment. I don't use primer. I don't think it does anything. I think it's a gimmick to get you to buy more stuff. Sometimes, yeah, it'll hydrate your skin, but so does moisturizer. Sometimes it'll mattify your skin, but so does a mattifying foundation. I've tried a lot of them, and if anything, they sometimes make my foundation look worse, so I just don't use primers. Sue me. Depending on what eyeshadow palette that you're using, you're gonna wanna either do your eyes first or do your base first. If your eyeshadow palette tends to be pretty dusty, you're probably gonna wanna do your eyes first, but if not, go ahead and do your base first. My eyeshadow isn't a dusty kind, so I am using the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear in the shade 110. And I apologize for the absolute wonky lighting. I am trying to film upstairs in my bedroom, which has 9 windows in it, which is great for sunlight, not so great for trying to film in, because when the sun is in and out of clouds, it does this. So I put it on the back of my hand. I know some people have mixing palettes. I use my beauty blender. Make sure all of your stuff is clean. I clean my beauty blender after every use. I know sometimes that's not possible with some people, but because I have acne, it is absolutely crucial for me. I just kind of dip it in there. And we're just gonna bounce around my skin. So this isn't really for covering up acne per se. It is more for evening out your skin tone. No matter how full coverage your foundation is, likely, if you're someone like me, your acne is gonna pop through no matter what. And instead of putting on 20 layers of foundation, we're gonna conceal and just spot conceal what we need to. I think that's a huge mistake that a lot of people with acne make. I made that mistake a lot, that I would just cake on the foundation, especially my acne was, and then wonder why it looks so cakey. I learned. And then I just used like 2 pumps of this stuff. Use a tiny bit more. My beauty blender soaked up that a little bit. I don't like use fake tanners or stuff very often, so I don't really have to worry about trying to match my face to the rest of my body like a lot of people do. Just not something you have to worry about. Next, we're gonna use concealer to kind of spot conceal. Essentially, there's really 2 different types of concealer. You got your cream concealer and you got your more liquid concealer. For cream concealer, I'm using the Erase Paste by Benefit number 1 Fair. And then for my under eyes and regular concealer, obviously, that's awful. Tarte Shape Tape in porcelain beige, literally the lightest color they have. I am a pale bitch. That is just me. And what I find with the erase paste is a little bit goes a long way. My mirror is over here because I don't have one of those fancy mirrors. I am just putting the tiniest amount where I want to spot conceal. Kind of put some little dots of that where I want it. My mirror also has a bunch of lights. So when the sun goes away, those lights really shine on my face. And then when the sun's out, not so much. Really annoying, not gonna lie. Let's see if I turn off my lights, if that's any, is that better? Is that any better? I have no freaking idea. Maybe that's worse. Maybe I should turn that back on. All right, we have got that portion done. I am gonna go in and conceal under my eyes. I wipe off a bunch of excess product because, again, and this is a personal opinion, I personally believe that people are using way too much concealer. I think it looks bad on most people, and your general public sees these beauty gurus that are like, oh, I'm gonna make all these crazy ass triangles on my face, and I am going to highlight my forehead and my nose and highlight my chin with concealer, and you're just putting so much extra product on your face, and then you wonder why it looks cakey. Just saying. It's better to put on too little, go back in, put on more if you need to, than just like glob it on your face. So now I can go back in, and I'm still seeing a little bit of shadow right there, which I don't want. It doesn't look like that on that side. So I'm just gonna go in and place just a little bit more. I have pretty wrinkly under eyes, honestly. So, well, Tarte Shape Tape isn't a miracle. It is better than some of the other ones that I have used. Like I said, since we're going for the daytime look first, obviously we want to go from day, and then when it's time for night, we want to put those extra steps to make it nighttime. We're not putting on a ton of product. We're not going to go down our, did I spill that? Probably. We're not going to go down our nose and make those crazy shapes in our forehead and make those, what is with that? I don't, sorry, that bothers me. I don't think it's necessary. I think you're putting on a ton of additional product that you don't need. It looks bad, okay? It looks bad in real life. Looks freaking phenomenal in Instagram photos. Yes, it does make you look like a porcelain doll. That and in the 20 filters people put on top of their photos, but not necessary. Nope, not for real life, not for day. All right, so as you can see, I put a tiny bit of it's gonna get me. I have never called it that before, so why I'm calling it Shart right now, Tarte Shape Tape, I have no idea. I put a little bit on my eyelids and kind of just blended that out. Next, what we are going to do is take a little bit of powder. And when I mean a little bit of powder, I do mean a little bit of powder. I'm using just Laura Mercier translucent powder. It seems to work as well as any other powder. So we're gonna go in, and you just want to make sure to like really tap out any sort of creases under your eyes, because if you're putting powder on over those creases, you're essentially going to make those creases stay creasy. Take a little bit on here. And Tarte Shape Tape is pretty dry on its own. So if you have extremely dry under eyes, I would skip this step. But it does make it last longer, trust me. At the end of the day, the only way to get it off is with actual makeup remover. So again, we're gonna pat those out. We're gonna take some translucent powder, really tap that in. And while we are tapping it in, and it does look like it like soaks completely into the skin, there is quite a bit of translucent powder still sitting on my skin, and that's good, because if I have any sort of fallout of my eyeshadow, even a slight amount, it's going, at the end, it's gonna be really great to like just kind of brush that away. So now we're gonna go on to the rest of our base. I am using Charlotte Tilbury, the Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlight. This is probably the most expensive item I personally own. I have an issue because I am so fair. I am a pasty white bitch. That's me, through and through. To find like sculpting shades that are actually light enough for my skin, because as you can see here, like that's not a really dark color and it's cool toned, which is my skin tone. I think it works a lot better than most other sculpting powders that I have used personally. And again, that's a personal preference. So I just kind of dab into it, knock any excess off. I put it where I want it, where you see everyone else put it. Nothing new, but I pat. The reason that I pat versus just really going at it and rubbing is because I have acne. And when you have acne, if you sit there and just rub back and forth, you are gonna take off any sort of concealer and foundation. Even if you don't take a lot off, you're still gonna be taking a little bit off. And to me, then it makes the acne look worse because you're taking off the foundation. It can be a little bit more because I don't have acne on my forehead, but if you do the same thing. And don't let acne define you. As you can see, I still have spots that are showing through. Big freaking whoop. Like, you're a human being, you're gonna have acne. Even those Instagram model stars that you see online, I guarantee you they don't have perfect skin all of the time. Guarantee it. They just freaking face tune their face to living hell to make it look like they're a porcelain doll. Not cool. Not cool at all. Next, we're gonna go on a little nose contour. This is actually like one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. And so when you're doing it, you kind of want to take from the bridge here, right? And you're going to go down. So wherever you create your shadow, it really brings in your nose. So if you're putting your nose contour way down here, that's where it's gonna look like the bridge of your nose is, right? So we want to create a little bridge of the nose because for some reason, it's totally popular to look like you've had 50 nose jobs. Now that we've contoured the ever-living fuck out of our nose, oh, there we go. Nose job. No fillers or surgery needed. So I like to put on my highlight last, mainly because it's my favorite part. It's like putting icing on the cake, if I can speak today. So I'm gonna jump straight into my eyes. And don't ask me what brushes I'm using, because they just look like kind of a crystal butt plug. So I picked them up off Sephora, I don't know, sometime this summer because they were on sale. The eyeshadow palette I am going to stick with, it's one little eyeshadow palette. It's this Dior one right here, Dior Backstage collection. I just recently bought this like 2 months ago, right when it came out, because I loved it. Cool tones, gotta love cool tones. Also, with my extremely fair complexion, what I find is that even light colors in most palettes end up being pretty dark for me. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one right here, which is just a matte pink. I just realized the one above it is called a shimmer pink, and I don't notice much shimmer in it, so I just now noticed that. So yeah, gonna use this matte pink, and I am just gonna place that all over my lid. Let's see, I'm gonna try to make this as best for you guys as possible, so I may be trying to figure out which mirror to use. Again, don't ask me what brand this is. It literally is just black. I have no idea where I got it. None. Boom. All right. So I'm gonna go in that same palette, and I'm gonna take this one right here. This is Matte Mauve. Take on that same brush that I just put that pink on, tap off. Here's what I do, I think, differently than a lot of beauty YouTubers that worked really well for me. I have very small eyes. They are very just kind of squinty. And if I put a lot of dark color on them, they tend to make them look really heavy and just like little itty bitty eyes. I do have eyelash extensions, and I literally get the shortest eyelash extensions that she has, because anything bigger just overwhelms my eye and makes them look itty bitty tiny. So this is something I do slightly different. A lot of times you'll see them just kind of put it out there somewhere and just kind of blend to shit. I'm a little bit more precise with that. So I take it up, whatever color I'm using, and I almost create like a pretty sharp upward wing with it. I do that because I feel like it helps lift my eyes and make them look bigger. And then because my eyes are small, I'm not gonna go into the crease right here. I'm actually gonna go on the brow bone right above it. So yeah, I go up, go over. This is kind of a stiffer, thicker brush, I guess. Just use whatever the hell you have. It'll be fine. You don't need those fancy, like, freaking 100 Sigma brushes in order to create a look. You can do it with what you have. I mean, I swear to God, like, some of the brushes I'm using came in palettes, and all the YouTubers are like, oh, if it comes on a palette, it's shit. And they just freaking toss it. And it's like, Jesus Christ, not everybody has the money to buy a ton of brushes. Like, make it work. And so you can kind of see it's creating like a shadow right here, which makes it look like my eye is actually a lot bigger than it is. This also works pretty well for hooded eyes. I had hooded eyes pretty bad when I was younger. I just kind of grew out of them a little bit, I think. Yeah, so we create an upward V with this color. Again, it's not very dark. And I don't put, with this brush in particular, I don't put it all the way over. And that's because I'm gonna use a little, like a fluffy brush. I think this is a blending brush. Oh shit, this is a MAC brush. The only MAC brush I own, and I got it for my birthday from my sister. So, you know. So we are going to blend that out like you do with eyeshadow. And you are gonna blend over, but it's gonna create a nice gradient because we didn't put all of that shadow over, so nice gradient. Perfect. All right, now we are going to take this really dark color right here, which is a matte plum. This matte plum, gonna take the exact same brush that I used for the other two, and we're gonna do, you know, what you do. Darken up the outer V, right? And we are pretty much gonna go over right where we did. But since we blended the other one out to hopefully living hell. This one, we're not gonna blend out so much. We're gonna keep it more like centralized just to this outer V area. Lastly, and I generally take this and whatever. Take this. And we're gonna go back into this shade right here. And we're just gonna kind of go, over where we just put the dark color again. So it's kind of like layering, but we really want a nice gradient effect. And then blendy, blendy. Blend, blend, blend. It's like the porn world of the YouTube community. Blend, blend. Oh, what a nice blend. What a nice blend you have, my dear. All right, let me just look in this mirror. Make sure there's no harsh edges. Just blend. If you have a hard time with blending, most likely it's because my hair is pissing me off. If you have a hard time with blending, the most likely reason is you are going too hard. So it almost seems counterintuitive to have a very, very light hand, but it really does help with blending. That was my mistake I made for a really long time. Thinking if I really got in there, it would blend it to oblivion. That's not true. And if you have a hard time trying to maintain a light hand, hold it at the very end. And it's pretty hard to blend really harshly out there. All right, and so we can kind of see the difference between this eye and this eye at this point. At least in my opinion, this eye looks quite a bit lifted versus this eye, which still looks like itty bitty squinty eye. So that is that part. We are almost done with said eye. That's right, it's quick. this isn't gonna take you 5 hours. Speaking of a brush that you get, this came with a Naked 3 palette that I got many years ago when it first came out. And you know what? Little flat piece here, a little bit fluffier, you know, freaking works for some shit. All right, we're gonna go into this one right here, which is called Pink Shimmer. I don't think it has a lot of shimmer to it. That's my personal opinion. It has a little bit, but not a lot. This is what we're gonna put right there on that brow bone area. And if you've noticed that I haven't really mentioned or touched on eyebrows very much, that's because I don't really have to do my eyebrows, and so I don't really feel qualified trying to teach how to do eyebrows because I just don't do them. I go to a professional, have them shaped, because when I tried doing it myself, I plucked them to oblivion until they were gone. Like, legit. So we're gonna take that light pink shimmer, place it on that brow bone. Again, with that light pink shimmer, we are going to kind of go in here. And if you really want some highlight on the inner, you can put this top one right here, which is called Silver Highlighter. So, you know, it tells you. So of course that silver highlighter doesn't look nearly as fascinating as it would on a real YouTuber's channel because they have a million lights that assist with the shine. So that's essentially one eye done. It's not complicated, hopefully. It's pretty simple. Use a couple colors. This I really do think is a daytime look. You put a little bit of this pink all over. You put a little bit of this outer V, blend it out, darken it up with this a little bit, and then just put this back on. Simple, simple. And then if you wanna make it a little bit brighter, just put a little bit of that brow bone, done. Bam, that's what I consider a day look. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eye off camera because it's boring as hell to watch someone do two eyes. So, be right back. All right, we are back. I just did the same thing to the other eye. It literally took me 5 minutes. That's it. That's it. All right. We're almost done with our daytime portion. We are gonna go into eyeliner. Where's my eyeliner? Eyeliner. You're gonna use whatever eyeliner you want. I'm gonna use the Black and Plum by Tarte. I don't like black eyeliner. You may see where it looks like I already have some eyeliner on. About 8 or 9 years ago, I got tattoo eyeliner, but it's faded really bad. So, yeah, so this is a gel eyeliner. This particular eyeliner, the Black and Plum Clay Pop from Tarte, says it's waterproof. I don't know about that, but I can tell you it's not smudge proof, so that much I know. It does not have staying power. Oh, and if at this point you have issues with just going in like this, like I did for my entire life pretty much, you can use your Beauty Blender to kind of stretch out your eye a little bit if you need to. Try not to stretch it out too much because obviously that's supposed to cause wrinkles and shit. I don't know the validity of that. That's just what we are told constantly. So yeah, if you need to, you can kind of pull a little bit like that. So that way you're not taking off your makeup with your fingers. So all I do is I darken up right along my lash line. Because again, this is a daytime look. We don't have time for no fancy winged eyeliner. We got shit to do. We've got work. Winged eyeliner takes like a goddamn year. Again, I just take it really, really close to my lash line. You're not going to see a huge difference, but there is going to be a little bit of a difference with the darkening. You can skip this step if you want to. I think it looks nice. Personal preferences. I almost like stamp it on. So I have stamped on my eyeliner. I'm going to put a little bit on the inner corner. Again, that's just something I like to do. I know a lot of people like go up into like their waterline under there. I don't like to do that because I feel like unless you use a really great eyeliner, it ends up smudging all over. So I don't do that. But I do, let me show you. Like you can just kind of go like this. Oh look, it doesn't disturb anything. Wonderful. If you want to use these like gel eyeliners, use such a small amount on your brush or they'll smudge. And you can already see it's transferring, like right where I put up there, it's starting to transfer right in here. This eyeliner doesn't really have staying power, so I just like the dark plum color that it provides. I think it's really pretty. I think it really suits my kind of green eyeballs. If you want, you can do a little something with your brows. I got this in like a little Sephora play box or whatever. This is just clear brow gel. I don't really have to use it. I don't know. I'm not really sure if this does anything, but I was given to as a sample. So sure, why not? We'll use it. All right, we are on to the best part, which is highlighter. All right, I'm gonna take again from this Film Star Bronze and Glow by Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna go into the highlighting section. I like this one because it's not very bam in your face. Perfect for the daytime. For work, little bit above. Yes. Boop, boop. A little bit on the high points of the cheek. Boop, boop. A little bit above your eyebrow. The nose, because, you know, we contoured our nose, so we have to make sure that it's perfect. A little bit above Cupid's bow, because we all know how much we love a shiny, shiny Cupid's bow. And if you really, really want, take like a brush, you can put it under your brow bone if you really want. You don't have to, obviously. Depends on how much bling you like for your daytime look. Because we don't want to overdo it with the highlighter because you'll look cray-cray. All right, we are actually on the last step, which is mascara. I have so many little samples. The only box I subscribe to is a Sephora Play. Sometimes the shit's good, sometimes it is just not even worth the $10. Like this month, they gave some like Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray, which I was out of. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever, cool. I mean, I've used this a million times, but whatever, cool. And it had leaked all over, there's none left. And I don't know if you just saw me just now, but I had scraped like a ton of the excess off in order to get my lower lashes because I feel like if there's a ton left on the brush, it gets everywhere. It looks clumpy and it's not fun. Not good times. All right, at this point you can put on lipstick if you wish. I know a lot of people that don't like wearing lipstick to work because it's seen as more kind of a nighttime thing, which I totally understand. I will be putting on lipstick for the night version of this, but this is the finished cool toned fall look for the daytime. You can obviously put a setting spray on your face if you want. I'm out of the all-nighter. This is Quick Fix, which is like a prepping priming spray with like coconut water. Here's the deal. I'm not sure that setting sprays do a whole lot. Yeah, I don't. I think if you get the right foundation that sits nicely on your skin, you don't really need to worry about too much about a setting spray. If you use a lot of powder, however, I feel like setting sprays can be good to kind of melt the powder into the skin. But I feel like if you have that much powder you need melt in the skin, maybe you use too much powder. I don't know. Less is more. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, so I am going to take a couple pictures that you've seen at the beginning of this, and I will be right back and we will do the nighttime look. All right, I am back from taking about 50 pictures with my cell phone sitting in this exact chair, hoping that one or two of them look halfway decent. So, I'm not a photographer. Now, we are gonna take this look and we are gonna turn it into a nice nighttime, cool toned fall look. What a mouthful. Yeah. All right, So firstly, we are gonna redo the eyes, not redo them, but add to them. But this is a very, very simple step. We're gonna take that exact same palette that we've been using the entire time. I love it, love this palette, love this palette. Okay, and this random brush. Oh wait, it says tease on it. I don't know what that means. Okay, so we're gonna go back into this shade right here. Get some on the tip, lots of fluffs, fluffy, fluffy. And then we're gonna take that, we're gonna just run it under said mascara. Sorry, I am trying to balance between like me being able to do my makeup halfway decent and having you guys actually see what the hell I'm doing. So, okay, we're gonna connect that up here. I'm gonna just do both sides because why the hell not? It's hard for me to do one full eye and then go back and do the other one. I just like to do one piece on one side, do the same on the other, back and forth. I feel like it's more even for me anyways. I don't know. When I first started doing this, I was like, why the hell am I putting dark colors under my eyeballs? It makes me look hella tired. And then I realized if you do it right, which basically means if you watch like 100 YouTube tutorials on how to do it, that you end up being able to do it in a way where it makes your eye look bigger. So that's kind of the whole purpose of putting it under. I like it for nighttime looks. I think it looks really pretty and sultry. Now that I've learned, oh wait, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm going back in with that dark shape, which is the Matte Plum. Take some random ass brush. I think this one is way too big. Yep, not doing that. Take that same brush we've been using like the whole time. So we're gonna make this darker as well. So instead of like the other one where you put it all along the bottom lash line, I'm gonna focus this more on the outer like 2/3 because we wanna try to keep that inner corner relatively light. Because you know, we put tons of highlighter in there to make it pop. So why the hell are we putting dark colors in there? And we brought it up a tiny bit into here, which means I'm just gonna very lightly blend that out, but we're connecting the bottom to the top. At this point, you can do a wing eyeliner if you so choose. I personally feel like wing eyeliners are the devil and they are impossible to get right unless you have sold your soul to the devil. So the last thing we're gonna do to our eyeballs is we want to pop this inner piece like right in here. I'm not gonna do no damn fancy cut crease. I can, I don't want to. I just don't want to. So once again, most of my nicer makeup has actually come from my little sister because she is like the most phenomenal gift giver in the entire world. I told her she needs to start a business where people just fill out a questionnaire and then she tells them what gifts to buy them because I don't think I've ever met anybody that can talk to someone for 2 minutes and know what to get them for the rest of their life. Crazy. She's just nuts. All right. This is something she got me by Stila. Comes in like this little pigmenty shit. Whatever. And then it comes with a little, what the hell is this? All Day Liquid Eye Primer. So we're gonna take a little bit of this, and I do mean little. A little bit of this. Put it on the little tray it comes with. And you don't have to use this, you can use any like highly shiny metallic eye shit that you want. I'm using this because I like it. Put a little liquid. See if I can show you what the hell I'm doing. We're gonna put like two drops. Very, very tiny drops. So tiny. All right, so you might be thinking, Misty, how the hell are you gonna put the shiny on your eyes with nails like this? Q-tips, my friend. My chair is rolling sideways. Like, I keep having to turn it over. I think my like room is sagging. All right, mixy, 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 mixy. All of on that Q-tip. And we're just gonna place it right where we want it. Now, as I said before, I really enjoy this stuff, but it's a bitch to get off. Like, when I try to wipe it off, I end up with like glitter all over my face for about 2 days. So, you know, hey. And I know some people associate glitter with like unicorns and rainbows. It's the goddamn herpes of the beauty world. What are you talking about? Again, really no need to do any sort of fancy cut crease with this. It shows up pretty well. If you have like a glitter formula that you are having a lot of issues with, like showing up, putting a concealer and doing like a partial cut crease is really going to help. All right, so as we can see, I've gotten like the first third, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other side of my eyeball now. Okay, so I have used that on about a third to maybe a half. I also brought it into the corner right here. This is a very intense sparkle, but this is a nighttime look, therefore it's acceptable. So that's what we're gonna do. So at this point, you wanna be really careful with this stuff if you use this particular stuff, because it basically gets like cement on your lids, and you can kind of see where I screwed up a tiny bit and I got it a little bit above the crease, which I didn't want. The problem is that's staying there. I'm not gonna get it off, because if I try to blend it out, it's just gonna like flake and sparkles gonna go everywhere. Nightmare, I tell you. It's like first world problems if I ever heard any. All right, so that's it. Our eyes are done. We added a little bit to the lower lash line, we put some sparkle, and bam, we have nighttime eyes. Now, you may want to touch up certain things such as like your nose contour if you want this. As you notice, I didn't use any bronzer. It's not summertime. We don't need to look sun-kissed all the goddamn time. It's fine. It's fine, I swear. So you might want to touch some of that up, maybe some of your spots at this point, if you so choose. Again, I don't need to right now because I literally just put it on, so. All right, so while we wait for our lips to dry, we are gonna do a couple more things. Back to highlighting. Yay! The frosting on the cake. All right, so my poor little highlighter. This is the Dior highlighting. This is the Dior Backstage as well. This highlighter broke. I dropped it. So sad. So sad. That's the strobe white, and then there's strobe gold, and then there's a pink blush, and then a shimmery bronze. So I am gonna go into this strobing one right here. We're gonna go over where we put the more subtle highlight during the daytime, because bitch, we want to be seen from the heavens at night. A little more down the nose, because you know, you have to have a shiny ass nose. And then we're gonna go in, and I like to take a little bit of highlighter, put it on said brow bone, make that go poppin', poppin'. And I know we put some of this on the inner corner. However, I'm gonna take some of this Goldie shade because it matches the color area going on in there, and I'm gonna bring that kind of right there in the corner and then kind of drag it up a little bit. I think, yeah. Nice little blendy blend. My lips are still extremely sticky. All right, now we're gonna go into the Bombshell, and this is gonna be, I take a lot of the excess product off because we don't want too much, because we really just want to do the center. Try to get that center butthole area. No one likes a crusty brown bubble. Yeah. So again, with putting the lighter color in the center, it's gonna really help give you a much more full lip look if you're like me and we're not gifted in the lip department. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think that's it. You can obviously do some sort of setting spray. This is actually just coconut water, essentially. It's more hydrating than anything. Because if you have oily skin, you still need to hydrate. Do it. Otherwise, your face is gonna create a ton more oil than it needs to. Your face is gonna be twice as oily as it needs to be. Just moisturize your face, please. Coming from an oily bitch. So, this is the cool, toned, fall, day to night look. Wow, mouthful, not doing that again. I'm gonna make it simple next time and just say basic bitch makeup. So yeah, this is it. I am absolutely worse at the outros. I don't know what to say. If you really enjoyed this, please hit subscribe. Let me know if you liked it. The only way I'm gonna grow and get better and to know what people are actually wanting to see and what they want to watch more of is if you guys let me know by hitting that dislike if you don't like it, commenting what you did or did not like about it. I love reading your guys' comments. I love when I hear people say, hey, I didn't like that. I had a trunk club box from Nordstrom's that I did, and I really enjoyed a lot of their clothes, but it was prohibitively expensive for a lot of people, and people were telling me that. They're like, we don't want to see that. That's just, $150 for a dress, and there's 7 of them. That's not something we want to see. And so I haven't done one of those again because you guys didn't like it. Okay, I'm gonna ramble. I don't want to ramble, so I am just gonna say this is the outro. I'm really glad you guys made it this far. If you did, if you didn't, you're not gonna hear this anyways. So thanks and have a great day.